I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
This is what happens when you put weak morons in charge. Crap like this right here happens and things go awry. And of course, basic necessities like gas, of course, they become almost unaffordable. Guys, it took me a little while to actually make this video. I've been working on it all day, trying to get together some talking points and a bit of a script for this video, but I really and truly have nowhere to start with this right here. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk about the situation on the ground. I'm going to try to give you guys an indication of what's about to happen next. And at the same time, I'm also going to talk about these idiotic tweets just for a second. George Takei decided to put out a tweet. You know, the guy who, the token Asian guy from Star Trek, who's very, very woke, decided to put up this tweet saying it was our patriotic duty to go through this ordeal and endure. Meanwhile, this guy's got $14 million in his bank account. And yeah, just a very, very arrogant, idiotic take from an old man who, quite frankly, should know better because his parents were also, they were put inside internment camps at one point in time. So he should understand what communism to a certain degree looks like. By the way, that's the FDR administration. I may do a special project on that right there. And why it was FDR was not the leader he was cracked up to be. There's also this take from Patricia Arquette saying that we need to boot Russia out of NATO, which, by the way, she got absolutely roasted for because most people understand that Russia is not a member of NATO. It never has been a member of NATO, if you guys know what I'm saying. So once again, you shouldn't look to your actual Hollywood elites for thought or they shouldn't be what we call thought leaders. But then again, though, this tweet from Adam Baldwin, which, by the way, I'll talk about a little bit later on in the video, actually holds a lot of merit to it, and I'll explain why. It also connects to some things that H.A. Goodman said and some things that I have said before on my channel, but I will discuss that towards the end of this video. So make sure you guys stick around for the whole video, and let's go ahead and dive into this. So you guys woke up this morning, you saw that your gas was like $3.80, and then it jumped up to $4, and now it looks like it could be $5 before the end of the year. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to be $5 before the end of spring. But how do we weather this, or better yet, how in the world did we get here? So the administration's answer to all this is, once again, not to put the permits back on the Keystone Pipeline. Now, I understand that the Keystone Pipeline would not ease things right away, but it would definitely ease things throughout the summer because now people have the indication that, look, you know, we can go ahead and go on back to work because right now the regulations are through the roof and people don't want to even bother. The oil companies are saying, look, you've got too many regulations out here thanks to the far left, thanks to the far left bullying the Biden administration. And as a result, we are suffering because of, well, the far left. You see, this right here is what the far left wanted. They want to put an end to gas. They want to put an end to oil. They want to go fully electric. But that's kind of funny, too, that they want to go fully electric because that guy who makes electric vehicles, you know, that guy named Elon Musk is screaming to pump more friggin' oil. Now, you figured in a crisis like this right here, Elon Musk would be out here trying to sell Teslas and electric vehicles, but even Elon Musk understands that the rate of inflation, and he understands with the job market, which, by the way, the Biden administration tells us is good, when in fact it's obviously not. He's trying to suggest to us that people have got the money to go pay for these electric vehicles when obviously they do not. So even Elon Musk can see the signs, if you guys know what I'm saying. Now, I will dig into George Takei and Patricia Arquette's tweets later on tonight in another video that I will have out for tomorrow to explain to you why it is that Hollywood elites deep down inside hate you, the consumer, you, the viewer, and why it is that they view you as nothing more as little tiny lemmings. Now, guys, before we get into this video, I want to go ahead and lay out some ground rules for you. I'm here with if you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at talking points. One of the main reasons why I had a hard time making this video is because I could not stay on topic, so I finally said, you know what, screw it, go back to doing scripts. I have no idea why I can't stick with it for more than like 2 or 3 videos at a time. I apologize for that. This right here is my pledge to you to have my actual points talked in, so that way I don't keep going off topic. So let's go ahead and talk about this entire situation and what we're doing to try to mitigate it. Not much. So the Biden administration's first actual indication, or their first actual inclining, their first actual thing they wanted to do was call it Venezuela and go meet them. So with all this talk about how bad Vladimir Putin is and how much of a dictator he is, Biden's actual instincts were to do what? Call another dictator in Maduro to ask him for fuel. Does any of this make any sense? By the way, guys, oil is more important than just fuel. You see, you have to have oil for a lot of things. A lot of products run off of crude oil, okay? And not only is this gas problem a problem for your vehicle, it's also a problem in other areas. You see, Russia is a country that we buy a lot of wheat from, which kind of is weird because we have a lot of wheat over here, but we buy a lot of wheat from Russia, and we also buy a lot of fertilizer. Now, if you understand farming, and by the way, I've just got bare bones knowledge of it, and I'm not a genius at it, you have to have fertilizer for your crops. Well, if Russia's cutting off that fertilizer and they're overcharging us on wheat, that right there means that our food production is going to stall, which means the price of food is going to go through the roof. Also, something else too, with gas going up, with fuel itself going up, that means the vehicles that are used on the farms to help us out with those crops, those tractors and whatnot, that means their maintaining costs are going to go through the roof as well. Meaning also at the same time, truck drivers, the cost of fuel means their maintenance goes up, which means everything goes up. You guys see what I'm saying? But 81 million votes. 81 million votes, people. Let that sink in. So those same 81 million people voted for $5 a gallon gas, and at the same time, not only did they vote for $5 a gallon gas, like my man here points out, they also voted for more wars. You see, in part 5 of my Russia-Ukraine series, which, by the way, I will leave in the comment section because I put those videos now on Commander 33, I outlined in that video that right now the Saudi Arabians are wanting us to go into Yemen. Okay, so Saudi Arabia, to go buy oil, they're looking at this situation and they're saying we need more security from the United States. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, of course, is going to Venezuela and, of course, is also funding the war effort in Russia by continuing to buy more oil. But if you don't buy me on this in the entire comment, I'll let you go ahead and kind of maybe look at this comment. And by the way, guys, make sure you guys watch this clip thoroughly. And I'm pretty sure you guys will get an idea of exactly how dumb this guy is.
Ahead to is we're waiting for remarks from the U.S. President Joe Biden. One of the measures he might announce is the release of a strategic reserve of oil and gas. The United States is a producer of crude. But will he then be, in your view, on the telephone to the king or the crown prince to talk a little bit about whether or not they too can help out by pumping out more oil?
Yeah, I think we have to put things into context. Last year, President Biden blamed the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the fossil fuel at the climate summit. And subsequently, Francois, 1 week later, he asked Riyadh to increase its oil production to lower the prices of oil. And it was a way to throw the blame on Saudi so he can cover up his primary responsibility for all his missteps after he knocked down the U.S. shale oil industry. So
are you saying that the Crown Prince won't pick up the phone?
It's not about picking up the phone. The U.S. will always remain as the most strategic ally, not only partner, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But at the same time, the current administration has made a lot of mistakes against the custodian of the two holy mosques, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the center of Islam, by calling it a pariah. So you call Saudi Arabia a pariah the moment you don't think you need it, and the moment you need Saudi Arabia, you call it a partner. Saudi Arabia doesn't like to play these games. So I think the United States, the ball is in the court of the United States to rectify the trajectory of its...
That dumb guy, by the way, is Joe Biden, not the Saudis. You see, the Saudis are looking at this situation. They're saying, we need more security. Well, if Biden decides to renege on going into Yemen, which, by the way, I'm not so sure he's going to do that right now. I got to see more of it play out before he decides to actually go through on it. It's very, very possible that the Saudi Arabians may rip us off. I mean, oil right now is about $115 a barrel, probably going to be about $130 before the end of the month of March. It's probably going to be about $150 before the end of summer. And I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia is looking at this and they're saying, oh my God, Joe, man, you really pissed us off, man. You really insulted the hell out of us. And now you won't do our bidding. And now you won't do what it is we want you to do. Screw that shit, $200 a barrel. And guess what that means back here at home? Without no Keystone Pipeline being constructed, without any actual offshore drilling, which, by the way, calms the market, you know what happens then? Next thing you know, your $5 gallon gas becomes $8. You'll be paying the same rate as those in California. Now, one of the things to come is that the Biden administration is going to find a way to ban the oil companies. Okay, well, we had this same debate in 2011 when Obama was in office, and even I myself was somewhat ignorant of this, right? People were blaming the oil companies for the price of gas. But the problem is this right here. When you have the radical left and a bunch of radical leftists in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency, and when they're in charge of things like permits and the red tape that's required that would actually be, people need to go through, especially these oil companies, guess what's going to happen? they're probably going to back off and say, you know what, we're not going to drill anything because there's too much red tape for us to go through. There's too many regulations, there's too many rules and whatnot. And of course, that really makes things a lot worse. You see, oil companies are going to get blamed for this, but in fact, it's actually the Brandon administration that made this entire ordeal possible because of their actual regulations. But 81 million votes, right? 81 million votes. So, okay, well, as you guys are seeing right now, a lot of people are posting, openly posting on social media, their regret for voting for Joe Biden. Now, let me go ahead and respond to this really quick. When I mentioned Biden voters, and I mentioned the fact that they made a very, very bad decision, now, I only go after the Biden voters that, quite frankly, are still dug in on their decision. If you voted for Joe Biden this one time, and you come out and you basically admit that you made a mistake, I will simply look at you and say this right here. These are going to be my exact words. I'm glad that you admitted. I'm happy that you were honest with us. I mean, I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate the fact that now you see the light. Now, do me a favor, my child. Go and not vote Democrat again, if you guys know what I'm saying. This right here allows me to transition into my last 2 points. You see, right now, Volodymyr Zelensky has came out that he himself is actually blaming the Brandon administration for this entire ordeal getting worse, which, by the way, I've been saying the entire time. If the Brandon administration had not removed those sanctions on Nord 2, we probably would not be in this situation. You see, this right here is what happens when you put idiots. This is what happens when you put weak people, when you put very, very weak, very, very dumb people in charge. This is what happens when you put progressives in charge. This right here is what happens when you put people who are mentally, how do I say? I can't say the R word. We'll just say mentally irregular in charge, if you guys know what I'm saying. And that, my friends, brings me to Adam Baldwin's tweet, which, by the way, is where I'm going to end this video at, because I think this is very important. You see, I have spoken before that the Democratic Party has to get rid of the radical left if they ever want to get elected, especially in battleground districts. Adam Baldwin is making a very, very good point here. You see, it wouldn't surprise me if we have to sit here and pay these high gas prices for the next 3 or 4 months, only for Brandon to then turn right back around and say, you know what, man, my approval rating is at like 20%. Maybe I should do something. Oh, wait, that's right. I'll call Trudeau up and we'll put the permits back in. By the way, that right there will probably bring the price of gas back down before the end of fall, because they'll use it as a campaign issue. I don't know if you guys have noticed it or not, but a lot of states like, say, New York and whatnot are starting to drop their mask mandates, if you guys know what I'm saying. And the reason why they're doing it is because of politics. You see, the Freedom Convoy scared the literal hell out of our politicians here in the United States. And they're saying to themselves, you know what, man, these mask mandates, oh, by the way, that's right. Those mask mandates are part of the reason why the oil companies can't put people to work to actually drill the oil. Yeah, because the mandates actually extend out to them. And to go on top of this, this right here actually proves H.A. Goodman's point. You see, H.A. Goodman has been saying for a while the Democratic Party has got to get rid of the radical left. And this right here is one of the ways they plan on doing it. Prove to the American people that progressive policies are nothing more than a bunch of crackpot policies, and they don't actually work. However, the problem is that you've got an idiot in charge, and every time he does something, it never goes according to plan. Nothing ever really truly does. And they're thinking, well, it'll put a lot of moderate Republicans in office, so that way I can pull a Bill Clinton and actually show people that I can work with my other party. However, what's going to end up happening is he's going to just end up alienating the far left, and they're just not going to show up. By the way, that far left is about a third of their base, once again, showing you that these people are completely out of touch with reality, and their actual policies, the way they're governing right now, shows you that they just don't have your best interest in mind. Here is where I'm going to stop for the day. Now, guys, really, really quick, if you like this content, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys share the video. Lay a comment in the comment section. Give me you guys' thoughts. Another thing, too, to go ahead and throw on out there, I'm going to be working on the video about the elites and why it is they really and truly hate you. I'm going to expand on that there a little bit further tonight. I'm also going to be making part 6 tonight to my Russia-Ukraine series, and I'm also going to be making a video on Major League Baseball strike and why it is that Rob Manfred needs to be fired. Now, guys, once again, if you like the content, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, share the video south in the comment section. Let's go ahead and get ourselves up to 500 subscribers, and I'll see you guys later.
Oh, thank God.
Sorry about that. Just be a second. That's a clean burning hell, I tell you what.